Hello, it's Joe with Are You Games Studios. Now this week we are celebrating University Games as one of our premier partners. So what better way to celebrate than to interview the VP of Marketing and one of the main product managers, Mr. Craig Hendrickson. And I got to do just that earlier this week. Let's take a look. Hello, Craig. Thank you for meeting with me.
Great to see you, Joe.
Great to see you too. All right, so we're going to jump right into University Games. Tell me a bit about it. Like, what kind of games does University Games make?
We make all kinds of games. We make games for young kids, starting with Briar Patch. That's around age 2. Then we grow up in university games. We do family-style games, and then into party games. So if you've got your friends over, maybe have a drink or two, play some really fun games. We have those. And then most recently, we acquired a company called Forbidden Games, and we do strategy games. So into those kind of adult thinking games, and we've got a couple great ones there with Raccoon Tycoon. That was one of the big games that we acquired. Really fun. If you like Monopoly, man, you're going to love Raccoon Tycoon because it's a better version, frankly.
Yeah, I absolutely. Yeah. Can I just say real fast? Not to cut you off, but I adore Raccoon Tycoon. It's really one of the ones that I just can't get enough of. So, all right, continue. Sorry.
I was just gonna add one more game. We're just releasing, which is Fairies, which to me takes a lot of the best of Raccoon Tycoon, brings it even to maybe a little more casual audience and easy to learn, really fun to strategize around. And that's going to be hitting stores really soon and releasing in our final version on Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
So, and then beyond that, we do puzzles and brain teasers. So we have original 3D crystal puzzles, which I see on the shelf behind you.
Plenty of 3D crystal puzzles.
Exactly. Super popular, particularly among collectors who love these things. And it's part puzzle and part brain teaser. If you look at the pieces, it looks like a jigsaw puzzle in 3 pieces. And if you try to put it together, good luck. No kidding. It's a challenge. And then we have our Hanayama brain teasers, which are they're amazing brain teasers. We call them sort of the Cadillac of brain teasers. If you're looking for something really challenging, Hanayama is one that's going to keep you trying to solve and basically separate the pieces in the puzzle for hours.
Oh yeah. Believe me, we do our Hanayama bingo. I've got a Hanayama puzzle wall over here where I use a bingo cage to decide which one I'm gonna learn and then teach how to solve. So
exactly,
done a lot of those. I remember those, honestly. I remember those from when I was a kid. My buddy Will used to get them all the time, and I would just sit in his room for hours just with like these 2 pieces of metal. Just I gotta figure out how to take them apart. I think I maybe got one apart when I was younger. Now when I'm a bit more able to logic through how the puzzle works, it's a little easier, but still.
I actually remember the brain teasers out of the Cracker Jack boxes.
Oh yeah.
You could bend them. Like if I can't solve this, bend it and take it apart. I remember one of the first ones I tried here when I arrived at University Games was it was so difficult. It's supposed to come apart into pieces. It didn't move at all. Like, how could this be that it comes apart? It's solid metal and it doesn't move.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of experimentation and sort of looking at the design of the product to try to actually pull it apart. And so they're really hard.
Yeah.
So
especially the ones where there's like a teeny tiny, like the U and U puzzles one I just recently did. Had I not learned how to solve it before I actually solved it, I would have been frustrated for weeks because 3 of the nuts on it, it's like basically like bent bolts and then nuts screwed on them.
Yeah.
3 of the nuts have one side that is ever so slightly shorter than the other sides. And if you don't know that aspect of it, it's impossible to solve the puzzle. So
exactly. One of my first favorites was Ogier, which looks like a ninja star in a box.
Ooh.
And basically, as you start rolling the ninja star around, it leaves one side of the box and it goes into the next. And again, you have to understand the design intricacies because there's little slight differences that lead you to a solution. But it takes a lot of visual kind of review and trying to figure all of that out to solve the puzzle. And they're all like that. They're very, very nuanced and amazingly designed.
Amazingly designed, beautiful, and all very different too. Like very distinct, different, and yet they all still kind of have that cast metal look and feel to them. But each puzzle is very much its own thing. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, so can you tell me a bit, like a brief history of University Games? How did it come to be?
Yeah. University Games started in 1985 on April Fool's Day.
Oh wow! Okay.
So April 1st, which is a fun fact, by two guys, Bob Moog and his friend Chris Lehman. They knew each other from school, and they'd acquired rights on a game called Murder Mystery Party. And it was all the rage among college students. So I think their first intention was, let's get this product in all the university bookshops. And so they decided on a name for the company, University Games, because they thought that was going to be their main their main sales channel. So interestingly, that game today is a huge part of our line. Murder Mystery Party, we've grown that into not only do we have the original Murder Mystery Party games, we have our case files, which are incredibly successful, and then Murder Mystery Party puzzles on top of that. So started in 1985. The company has grown over the years. Some of the early launches, 20 Questions was a big launch. We just re-released that last year. It's been kind of off and on for the company, but really, really fun game of guessing the who, what, where. Later on, you can see behind me is Smartass. That is one that it's been in our lineup for over 10 years. I think we're reaching the 15-year mark. One of the most successful party games in the marketplace. You can find it just about anywhere. And along the way, we've developed many of our own products. We develop a lot internally. All the Murder Mystery Party has really been designed internally. We pick up we'll call them distributed products. Those are our Crystal Puzzles and Hanayama products. Those are big products in Japan that we have deals that we sell those in the United States. Because our business has been so successful, they listen to us quite a bit on what we should do next, which is fantastic. And then we've acquired companies along the way, like Briar Patch, which really led us into a stronger position with children's games and many, many others. So now you can go into virtually any toy store and you can find our products. Big places like Barnes and Noble and Walmart and Target, you could find us there. And so we're kind of everywhere. And we also have we sell our products in the UK and Australia. And that's a fun little thing, is trying to get one product to sell in all territories, because they all like to spell color a different way and favor it a different way. And so we have to pay attention to those words so that we use words that aren't misspelled in different territories.
Absolutely, that are universally spelled.
That's right. So that's right.
Instead of color, you use hue or some other word. You just work around.
We figure it out.
There we go.
Exactly. Color's the toughest.
Yeah.
Color's the toughest. Favorite is okay. We could find a different word for that. So anyway, keeps us on our toes every day.
Fantastic. So I noticed there's a Dogman game right behind you on your shelf.
It's
Dogman Attack of the Fleas, yes. And you guys have a recent Dogman game that just came out, the 20,000 Fleas Under the Sea game. So
exactly.
Can you tell me a bit about that? Because I know my kids personally are all about Dogman. They love Dave Pilkey products. They just recently got into Captain Underpants. They did it the reverse way. They started with Dogman and now have graduated on to the original.
It's funny because Dave Pilkey, the author, has not done that many licensing programs over time. And about 6 or 7 years ago, we were actually one of the first game licensees for Captain Underpants. And that was through the DreamWorks movie. They'd launched a movie, and we created games based on that. Captain Underpants was wildly successful, sold millions and millions of books, but I think at the end of the day, it was always a challenge for parents because it was about underwear.
Yeah.
You know, so Dave launched, I think it was in 2016, 2017, Dogman. So Dogman was, part dog, part human. There was a big accident with a police dog and a policeman and the nurse. They weren't going to make it. And the nurse says, well, wait a minute, why don't we take the dog and attach him to the man? And, that created
him.
Dogman. So, but it was a property or an idea that really appealed to both boys and girls, and the humor in it appeals to adults. So we knew that there was something there. We were aware of the license, and one of our partners came to us and said, "Hey, Dave Pilkey's going to license Dogman. Would you guys like to put in your bid?" And like, "Yep, today. We'll have our bid in today."
Yes, please.
So yeah, it was one of the fastest licenses we've ever signed. So we got into that immediately. The fun part of it is reading the books, really getting used to the story and then creating games based on that. Because one of our philosophies here is, we're not just going to create a standard matching game or, something that anyone's seen before. It's always something different and new. So that's what we've done with these games. The other thing is, one of our secrets to success is creating games where everybody plays at once, because kids don't want to wait their turn. They're going to get bored. Absolutely. So all these games, you're using your observation skills to stay in the game on every turn. So if there's 4 kids playing, it's sort of like you're playing the whole time. And so we were able to do that with our Dogman games. The 20,000 Fleas Under the Sea is every bit of that. But when you look at our games, Flipperama and Hot Dog, you're constantly ready to jump into action on those games too. So we are really proud to have the Dogman, portfolio with University Games. It's been great for us.
Fantastic. So you kind of started to touch on this. I'm curious. How does your game design process work? How do you guys decide what kind of game you want to make? Talk me through that.
Yeah, we do a lot of advanced thinking on the marketplace, looking for, opportunities in the marketplace. We see maybe an underserved customer, a property that seems interesting to us that we would bring to markets. And we're looking all over the world, literally, for these. We're going to, there's licensing shows where we could look for properties to bring to market. There's international shows where we might find a game that has been very successful in France and we bring it to the US, for example. Or we create our own games, and we do that a lot. Even if we're using a license, we're creating many of the games ourselves. So it sort of starts there. We jump into the process. We usually do 3 or 4 different examples of what the game could be among several people. So we want to get sort of the best ideas going. And those 4 ideas, it's like we take one piece of this, one piece of that, and put them all together into a game. And the things we look for in a game is we want you to be able to learn the game really fast. So it takes under 5 minutes to learn. And we usually support that with a video that, explains how the game works. We want people to be invested at all times. So we look for games that everybody plays on every turn as much as possible. And then we look for games that combine skill and luck. So skill is, you can get ahead by using your smarts, and the luck is, I can go from worst to first. Just through a little bit of luck. And so we call those catch-up features, where you can sort of catch up in a game, and so you're always in it. And then our games always have some sort of a learning element. So, whether it's a children's game, you might be learning to take turns, or maybe you're learning alphabet and counting and things like that. But as an adult, you are playing smartass and you're hearing clues about a topic, and you're actually learning along the way. Like, I didn't know that about this person.
Yeah.
So there's always some element that edifies, and at the root of everything we do is sort of social play. We want people to talk to each other, and people have asked me over time, how are board games doing? Are they really tanking because of the iPhone or other devices? And my answer is, I think in the beginning when the iPhone came out, there was board games dropped a little bit. And then people realized you on a mobile device, you really can't have that laugh out loud social moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And our games are designed to enhance that and bring people together. And we saw that, in no other place than the pandemic, that our games suddenly, I mean, they were always selling well, but, overnight people needed games where, they're reacquainting themselves with their families because they were at home all the time. So our games really facilitated that social aspect among players.
Fantastic. So let me ask you, Craig, what was the board game that made you kind of fall in love with board games?
Oh my gosh, it was actually a game way back in the day called Masterpiece.
Okay.
Which was it was a Hasbro game. It had classic art in it. I believe clipped to the back of the art was the value of that. It would change every game, so you'd have a different value, and the object, I think, was to make the most money. But some of them, it looked like a Rembrandt, but it was labeled a forgery. So you lose your money based on that. So I just remember that, I think that the fact that game, provided many different ways to play. I had two brothers and a sister, and we liked to play it together. So that was one of the early memories for me. But the other memory was, so my dad was an architect, and he always had extra cardboard around the office that was like for blueprint paper, this heavy cardboard. Somehow I started making things with that cardboard. And so I'd make spaceships and all kinds of things, including board games. So at about 11 years old, I was making my own board games and my own toys with this cardboard stuff. So it really became full circle as a career. It was, when I was in the position to do the same thing, make games and products for kids, everything came full circle. So, but anyway, the first one was Masterpiece.
That's amazing. So how long have you been with the company then?
12 years.
12 years.
12 years. Yep. So I've been doing games for that amount of time. I worked previously for Leapfrog, which did educational electronic products. That was always a little bit tougher because we were always buttonholed into, you need to be electronic and educational. Here at University Games, man, it's the world is our oyster. So we can do all kinds of games, which is really fun. And I love the variety from, one day I'm working on a children's preschool game, and the next day I'm working on a strategy game. So it's there's lots of variety at University Games. I think the consumers or our customers see that too, that there's a lot of variety in what we offer, which is a key ingredient in our success, is the breadth and kind of all the things people can choose to play in our portfolio.
Awesome. Fantastic. So in your 12 years at University Games, what would you say you're most proud of?
Oh boy, I think it is extending the popularity of Murder Mystery Party.
Yeah.
So we had an opportunity a couple of years ago to really dive into a new segment of that marketplace, which was the idea of sort of this mystery that you could open up and it looked like a CSI moment where you've got a case file, you've got pictures, and a story is created about how a murder took place and background of all the characters. And we really grabbed onto that. We launched the Murder Mystery Party case files. And the thing that I love about it is the intricacies of those case files. They're not difficult. They are difficult to solve. But we provided an online element where players could get hints and solutions along the way, so you never get stuck. Okay. And it became a really fun experience. And so that one was, it was one that kind of came out of the blue. We jumped on it, saw the opportunity, and created this. And we've sold just about our millionth game since that point in time. And then we look at the online experience, millions and millions of views online of the hints and solutions to show that we have an engaging game that people are loving playing, a game series. There's 9 of them now of the case files. So anyway, that was a fun moment also because I got to be there on the ground floor and create this whole segment of a portfolio for us with really wild success there. So
absolutely,
really fun.
Fantastic. Well, Craig, I guess the last thing I have for you is, what do you see the future of University Games looking like?
Oh my gosh, I think that we're gonna continue looking for games and experiences that we think our consumers will love. So we'll be launching more in the mystery category, more in party. We're going to Toy Fair this week, so we'll have all kinds of new games to unveil. I think that one area we'll focus on continually in the future is family games. So ways to really bring families together, all ages in the family to play at the same table and have fun together as they actually get to know each other through games. We all think we know each other, and you play a game, you're like, well, I never knew that about you, even though you're my brother, that kind of thing. So it continues to be an exciting game, an exciting time in games, just because it's, people love, traditional games, and I don't think it's ever going to go away. But people are going to be looking for, the latest fun experiences in the category. That's our aim, is to provide those best experiences.
Fantastic. Now, since you're going to Toy Fair and you got some fun games to unveil, you got any exclusive first looks for us that you want to talk about at all? Huh?
Oh my gosh, we've got a game which is one of my favorites. I'd call it a family game, which is The Dog Ate My Homework. And it's a game literally where you feed a dog. He's a plastic dog, but he's got an ear that you can churn, you can spin, and he literally eats the homework. So it's sort of a puzzle solving game. So the players don't get to see what he's eating, but when it comes out the other end, it's basically a shredder, and it shreds it into strips. And it's a puzzle that you have 30 seconds to put together to try to guess what the dog ate. And some of the visuals are, a cup of coffee, things around the house, and things that you recognize once you put it back together. But it's sort of this magical, crank the ear and the pieces come out, and the fun of solving it. So that'll be one of our big launches next week, is The Dog Ate My Homework.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to play that, either with my kids or with my friends. It sounds like a blast. All right. Well, thank you so much, Craig. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me, and yeah, best of luck at the New York Toy Fair.
Very good, Joe. Great to see you. Talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You like that video? Why don't you give it a like? Maybe head on down to the comments and tell us what you liked about it. Ooh, better yet, you can click this button right here to subscribe. Or maybe you want to check out some more of our videos with this button. And if those buttons have been disabled in the future and I'm just kind of doing this randomly, just use your imagination. Okay, bye, love you.